Now you're going to see in the top right corner. Now you're going to see in the top right corner.
Hello, everyone. My name is Hubert Ellerbe, and I'm the Human Resource Specialist with Enterprise Systems Division. Welcome to our presentation on navigating through USA Jobs. The first thing we will need to do is log into the website, which the website address is www.usajobs.gov. Now, before you create an account, let's familiarize ourselves with the home keys across the left top. First is home. This is where you would come back to upon any search or wherever you've been in the system. This is where you return back to. Then let's go to search for jobs, which allows you the advanced search as well. Then my account, which maintains your profile information and resumes, save searches, save documents and jobs, applicant status, which I will explain later. And Resource Center will touch on veterans, individual disability students, and senior executives. Okay, so now let's go to, let's start out with our, and go into creating an account. No, before we do that, to create an account, let's familiarize ourselves with some of the other areas on this page. Of course, the what area in the middle of the page, the what area is showing you what particular position you're looking for, what type of announcement, and then your where block, which is right beside that, will give you where in this country you want to work in terms of your state and local area. And then we have the advanced search, which you see there right below where. And then we have your search jobs function, which we will come back to that to search for positions within the system. And then let's scroll down just below that, and you have your individuals with disabilities. Let's open that up for a second. And it kind of gives you a welcoming page and what have you in terms of the resources you would need and what you need to know. Let's close that out and come back into, let's close that out and come back into the veterans area. And the veterans area is another one. Be able to welcome veterans in and show you the most of the things that you would need to know and see within USA Jobs. Let's close that out. Then you have your students and recent graduates. And then, of course, the Senior Executive Series. Let's come down just below that where it says, which you're following USA Jobs. And you can see you can follow USA Jobs on Facebook, Twitter, and the YouTube. So those are some pretty good functions to be able to alert you, and another way of alerting you through USA Jobs. Now let's scroll back to the top right. We want to go into the create, let's hit on the create an account area. Now in this area, in terms of creating a new account, of course, we're welcoming you to USA Jobs because this is your official site for the federal government. And with your new account, assuming we've already opened an account, these are some of the things I want to go over that you will be able to do in the USA Jobs area. You will be able to build and store up to 5 distinct resumes. You'll be able to save and automate job searches. You'll be able to save and apply for jobs. You'll be able to search by agency, occupation, and location. You'll be able to apply to federal agencies. You will learn how to use USA Jobs while you're on the site. It also has an area where you'll be able to learn about the federal hiring process and discover special hiring programs and see which jobs are in demand. Let's scroll down to the form sections right below that. In the form section, you'll be able to see the personal information and account information. And you see the red dots as you look here is your required information. This is the information that has to be put on here in order for you to create an account. Of course, your first name, no middle name is required. There's no red dot there. And then you have your last name, and you have your telephone numbers, which in this area you can let's see where here it'll accept up to 3 different phone numbers. Of course, your email information, and you want to make sure that's in an HTML format. One of the keys that they're advising us about is be advised that only one account can be created for each email address. Be sure the email account you use is only accessible by you and the email account is properly secured. Let's step down just a little lower on your account information. And with your account information, you have to have your account uses between 4 characters and no more than 20 for your username. For your password, it must contain as well at least 8 characters and no more than 20. Now, when you're creating a password, you want to make sure you have at least 1 uppercase letter, at least 1 lowercase letter, at least 1 number, and at least 1 symbol. Now, here's another key reminder to help remember and protect your password. Supply some personal hints by selecting 3 different password questions and answer. Knowing this information can help you quickly reset your My USA Jobs account using our automated account resetting tool. Now, as you come down just a little further, you'll see here your password questions. These are secret questions that you may have in the system. And let's use the drop-down box just to give you a general idea of some of the questions that they have and you're to answer. You have to use the ones noted that they have. Now, if you come out of your drop-down box, you can go over your terms and conditions and read over that. And at the end of that, as you can see, once you read just below that over your terms and conditions, at this time, you agree to what you've read. That this time we would go ahead and create an account. Now, for time-intensive purposes, we've already created an account for you to look over. So at this time, we will sign in. Okay. Let me do this again. Hold on just a second here. And once you get all signed in, this is where it's best to do it. You can, in fact, scroll around on this without being signed in, but it's best that way you'll be able to keep everything that you've found in the system. Okay, so now what we want to do once we get, once you are signed in, if you notice across the top right, you'll see your name and that you're the one signed into this particular account. If you look to your left here, to the bottom left, let's go over there, scroll over to your left and to the bottom where it says My Account, pretty much midway through, you will see your name once again. And if you have a goal, this is a good time to put in a goal as they have some for you. But if you want to add a goal at this time, this is when you would add it. You also could add a picture at this time. If you had a photo that you wanted to upload, this would be the time to do it. And if you wanted to edit, let's go down a little bit right there to the edit section. If you wanted to edit your account in any way and change a phone number or something, this would have been the time that you would have done so. Now let's scroll down just a little bit to the resume portion. Now, as you can see, this individual you can store up to 5 resumes, and at this time, this individual has stored 2. And you want to make sure once you upload your resume, you do it in a word processing system, preferably Microsoft Word, and make sure you use your spell check. And at this point, your resume builder, you copy and paste the various blocks of the tests in the specific areas such as duties, responsibilities, and what have you for your resume. Like I said, you name each resume and make sure it's something that you would remember, be it technical and managerial. Now, to upload a resume, as you can see right below build a resume, you see that uploading a new resume. Now, this feature you have to really be careful because if you have one of those resumes that come up to 3 pages, you may not get all your information in here, because this particular area, when your text count is only 5,000. So be very mindful of that, and that's all you'll be able to put in there. Now let's scroll over to, let's come back up to where the Save Jobs section is, about midway up a little bit. Now this is an area, well, let me go up just a little further in the highlights from USA Jobs. As you see just above that, here is where, if anything USA Jobs wanted to alert you on, this is basically where they would highlight your information right here that they wanted you to have. Now let's go back down to your Save Jobs. Now here on the any jobs that you would have saved that you found in the system that you were liking to, this is where you would save that information. Let's scroll down to your documents. Now here, the good thing about this particular area is when you save documents, at this time you would be able to reuse those documents in the system time and time again for different positions that you apply for in the system. So let's close that. And then we can come down to, have we closed that one out? Okay, and then we have your applicant status, application status. Now this is a very important area, as you can see here, it will alert you on the status of your application, be it sometimes the application may close and you wouldn't have known until you went on the site and can see as an update that either the vacancy has closed or it's been moved to the selecting official. Now let's see if we come out of that area. Okay, after you come back up from your application status, we can go back to the top. I want to take you to how you refine your search and what have you. So at this point, let's go back to the home page. Okay, now from the home page, now what we want to do is, this is where we're going to search for a position and see if we can find in the system. So let's go ahead and add, probably we can add human resources or whatever career field at this point you want to add in there. We'll do human resources. And where we'll just say Washington, D.C. Now, if you look in the site, you can see here in the bold print, it gives you the job name, it gives you the series, the grade, and pretty much all the information you would want in terms. This will give you your explanation in terms of, as you look for that vacancy announcement, you see the agency, the location, your salary, and all the information you would need in terms of the vacancy announcement, which we'll go into further detail later. But let's scroll to refining the results. you know, at the top here to the left, your top left as it shows, you have jobs for the U.S. citizens. And then we also have that second block is where you would refine your search for your vets and your disabilities, your second block there to federal employees. So we don't want to miss that very important area, which will give you that search for all of the vets and disabilities and what have you. So let's scroll down and go over the, well, matter of fact, let's go into one of the, now I want to show you the short version of the vacancy announcement. So let's close that down and go to where it says the short version at. And at this way, you'll see the bold, be it the agency itself. It basically explains any and everything at a quick formatted way where you can see the vacancy and if you're interested in applying. So let's close that out. Now let's go back over to the left and of this column and discuss where it says agency. Let's hit on the agency area. Now here you'll find most of the agencies that we have around the country, and it'll identify for the ones that pulled how many are in that particular agencies in terms of vacancies that they have of folks that they're needing. So you can go back and hit vacancy again. And let's come down to the job category. And once again, different jobs that you're looking for to be able to identify how many we have in that particular area for the job categories and where they're located. Let's close that out. Now let's hit on the grade. And the good thing about the grade area is that be it for whatever one, be it 9, 11, 12, and as it goes all the way up, it'll usually, in the vacancy announcement, it will give you a minimum to a maximum for that particular grade in terms of salary. So we'll go down to salary and maybe you'll be able to see that. So let's close that one out and go to salary. And here you will see how they minimum and a max in terms of whatever grade you would have selected. Let's go to work type. Close that one out and go to work type. Once again, you'll be able to see again some of the positions in terms of the work type and then picking the titles. And so let's close that out. Your work schedule. And this is very important, as some positions, if you're reading, you got to read that whole vacancy announcement. And some may say that we're only hiring for part-time. Some may say we're hiring for full-time. So you want to really be reading your vacancy announcement when you come down to these areas and they're telling you the work schedule of these vacancy announcements. Let's go to posting and close that one out. That posting come open, it seems to be okay. Yeah, and here with the posting data, which basically gives you how long has it been since a vacancy has been put out. You really want to keep address of this information. Sometimes you may want to set yours on probably 10, and in the last 10 days, how many positions came out for the area that you're interested in. So it's a very key area right there. Okay, so we can close that out. Now let's go back, scroll back to the top here. Matter of fact, let's go back to the home section. Nope, I really didn't mean it. Well, now we want to do the advanced search. And that's right in the middle. If we hit right midway through there, just below the where and when, what, where, let's hit on your advanced search. Okay, now the good thing about your advanced search is it's going to help you narrow down to a specific vacancy. So this is very important in terms of when you're looking for it, maybe someone have referred a vacancy to you or what have you, and you want to go specifically to that vacancy. So let's slide over just a little bit to the left where it says your keyword. You know, this is where you, as we saw us put in the human resources It could have been an analyst, just giving it some keywords to kind of search for different things that you're interested in the system. The same thing as you go down just a little bit with the title search. And those little questions, let's hit on one of the little question marks there, right beside the position, just to give you a general idea of what comes up. And it'll just explain what it is in that particular area if you're not really sure how you want to narrow your search down. This will go in full detail and explain it that away. So now let's go to the series. Now you have to be careful when you're searching by series, because some will be in a 3-letter format, and of course this requires 4. So if you're looking for a 3-letter format series, make sure you add the 0. Again, if we slide on down there for the location, now the location search will give you all the 50 states around the country. Can we add that Alabama? Hit on the Alabama one. And then you could put add over here. Once you put on Alabama, all the cities and local counties for Alabama will come up. And at that time, let's just hit add one. As you can see, it'll add it to your search. Now to remove that, let's put the mouse back on that, and then you hit remove and it'll go away. Okay, now let's slide down to your agency search. Right in that same lane, and it's pretty much the same criteria. If you want to search by agency, you heard Department of Agriculture was a good agency to be with, Department of Commerce, or any one of these agencies that you can go to, and the same thing applies. You hit on one of those and either add, and once, let's hit on one, because what happens is your sub agencies go to the bottom once you hit on it. So let's hit on one of those in the agency block. Let's pick one. And as you can see just below, all the sub-agencies will come up for the type of area you want to work at, or what have you. At least your sub-agencies will come up, and that's how you track them that way. And once again, using the adding and remove function. Okay, let's slide over from there and scroll down just a little bit. And let's go over to, in terms of your eligibility as a veteran, once again, these are key areas you need to have when searching for a position. You want to make sure you add the yes for vets and individuals with disabilities. That's a critical area, and then it will kind of pull up folks that have these announcements for you and what have you. And that's how you key point your search, narrowing it down to really going after the vacancies or the area you're looking to work at. So that would in turn kind of show you all your navigations area. Let's go back to the top. Now, the good thing at this point, to narrow the search, we would have narrowed our search completely based on the advanced search that I just showed you. That would pretty much be your navigation throughout the USA Jobs in terms of after you had created an account. Those are the navigations that I've just shown you that you should be able to narrow your searches and what have you in terms of the USA Jobs. But at this time, that would pretty much conclude the presentation. And I'd like to turn it over to my colleagues who will go further in detail of the vacancies further in detail. So good luck on your search, and thank you, and have a wonderful day.